Hello everyone! Generally, when one dreams of a flood, it leaves a vivid memory upon waking. The anxiety caused by the rising waters, although imaginary, can bring a strange feeling, even a certain melancholy. Overall, this dream suggests that the person who experiences it is beset by problems that gradually overwhelm him or her, even to the point of swallowing up his or her joy of living. However, the possible interpretations are not limited to this. They vary greatly depending on the scenario and the nature of the flood. In this video, you will discover the most common explanations associated with this symbol. Like all dreams, the dream of a flood provides a lot of information about the unconscious torments of the dreamer, whether boy or girl. It can help to take stock of one's life, the difficulties one is experiencing, and the feelings one is having. Indeed, in dreams, water is often the allegory of emotions. Thus, dreaming of a devastating flood, taking everything in its path, can mean the desire to start all over again. A small rise in the water level against which we have to fight will rather translate the anguish in front of certain trials to come. To flee a flood in emergency can also indicate that the dreamer was confronted with an event that led to a great upheaval in his life and for which he was not prepared. As you can see, dreaming of a flood can be interpreted in many ways. This is what we will see in more detail in the rest of this video. The flood in a dream is an event that carries a whole symbolism. In all cases, it is a manifestation of our feelings, whether they are conscious or repressed. It can, for example, symbolize the obstacles of life. Faced with the flood, the person who's dreaming must literally swim against the current to overcome these obstacles. Being aware of these obstacles, they sometimes seem insurmountable and we can feel demoralized in front of that. Fortunately, the water always goes down until it returns to its normal level. There will inevitably come a time when these obstacles will disappear. Dreams of flooding are also common among people who cannot manage their emotions. The famous expression, "It's the straw that breaks the camel's back," truly represents this idea. The emotions of the person who's dreaming are so strong that they end up overwhelming him or her to the point of harm. In this case, emotional control work is necessary. Let's also specify that the flood can represent the loss of something important. It can be a material asset or a loved one. If this loss is a lived event, the dream is only a mirror of the emotions felt, but it can also be imagined. The flooding is then the representation of a conscious anxiety of the loss, or a reminder of the spirit aiming to tell us that everything should not be taken for granted. In dreams, the flood can take different forms and take place in very specific contexts. This is particularly the case of the dream of being engulfed in a flood. Generally, this foreshadows great changes in the dreamer's behavior and way of thinking. This flood of invading water also predicts unmanageable events to come. It is thus associated with anxiety and a gradual rise of negative emotions that eventually overwhelm us. This is even more true when we see ourselves swept away by a flood. In this case, we must try to escape these negative feelings that torment us and attach ourselves to all the positive aspects of our life. However, the dream of a flood is not necessarily a bad omen. In the event that you save yourself from the rising waters, it means that, despite the problems you're facing, you're on the right track to get out of it. Your efforts and diligence will end up paying off, and you need to continue in this way. If you've ever seen yourself succumbing to a flood in one of your dreams, you should be interested in the interpretation of this event. But before I reveal it to you, I invite you to subscribe to the channel by activating the notifications. If you're fascinated by the dreams and mysteries they contain, Its content is made for you. Thank you to all those who will take the time to do so. It helps us and encourages us to continue. Contrary to what one might think, dreaming of dying in a flood has nothing negative about it. In the symbolism of dreams, drowning is often associated with renewal and hope. It signals the end of all that is harmful to us to make way for radiant perspectives. Although the sensation of having experienced one's own death can be disturbing upon awakening, this should not mislead you. Such a dream indicates the beginning, not the end. There are still many explanations of flood dreams. To discover them, you can go to tellyourdreams.com and read the associated article. The link is in the description of this video. On the site, you can also share your dreams with other readers. However, you can also describe them to us in comments. Remember to like this video, share it, and subscribe to the channel. We have many more dream decryptions to share with you. See you soon. I wish you all beautiful dreams.